Sir, thanks for joining us today on Leadership Blog, which is a podcast for the Air Force Lifecycle Management Center community on topics of interest. And today, the topic of interest is learning about the small business program. So we're here with Mr. Luke Schultz. Sir, if you could introduce yourself a little bit to the audience and give us some background on your career.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. My name's Luke Schultz, Director of Small Business Programs for Air Force Lifecycle Management Center. How I kind of came to the Air Force during college, studied financial, investments, financial services. Out of college, got a job with a small investment management firm. Worked there for a few years. After 9/11, the year after 9/11, they kind of restructured, did a reduction in force. And at that time, I was looking for other various positions that were available. So fortunately, at that time, it was a tough job market. I had opportunities to continue in banking, investment management, consulting, or work for the government. So at that time, I chose to come out here at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Came in as a GS7 in the Defense Civilian Intern Program. Just very thankful for that. In essence, I'm a local product. Went to Wright State University and did my MBA at University of Dayton. Started out as a GS7 as a contract price cost analyst in the pricing division. Got great experience there. Then was a contract negotiator over in the training systems product group, which did simulators. I was on the F-15E distributed mission operations program over there. Then I went special assignment to do a source selection with the Aging Aircraft Systems Squadron, small business set aside source selection. Spent a lot of time there. Just phenomenal experience, especially young in my government career. Then came back to the B-2 simulator. They were doing a recompete source selection for the simulator, and was able to kind of push out that final RFP, and then moved over to the training aircraft and was a contract negotiator over there. At that time, I was deciding, stay in contracting or do pricing. I went back to pricing at Aeronautical Systems Center, in essence, ASC at the time. And then got a really great opportunity to be a contract price cost analyst over at the Enterprise Sourcing Group, which they were just being stood up at that time. So took that opportunity, great experience, did 3 large medical service commodity council source selections at the time. During that time, I also was on a contract price cost analyst position, but obtained my unlimited warrant, which was a great experience. And while I was a contract price cost analyst, I was able to do contracting officer work on a program with the Medical Service Commodity Council, and then work on the source selections. So after that, went back into contracting, was a contracting officer, became a supervisor, contract negotiator for the Civil Engineering Commodity Council over at Enterprise Sourcing Group. And then there's another opportunity that came up, pricing division chief for the newly formed Air Force Installation Contracting Agency, AFLCMC. So I was able to be the chief of the pricing division there, which provided pricing support amongst the enterprise, the Air Force, and worked with a lot of great people there. And at that time, looking for a new opportunity, and then became the director of small business programs for Air Force Lifecycle Management Center. So came back over to Area B, and now I'm director of small business programs, and it's just been a phenomenal experience. Been here for about 2.5 years now. So.
Mm-hmm. So when you talk to small businesses and explain to them how to be competitive for government contracts, you know of whence you speak. I mean, you've got a lot of broad experience in contracting.
Yes. Have a lot of broad experience in contracting, worked on source selection teams, worked on small business set-asides, worked with small business. So yeah, I've got quite a bit of experience and outreach. So
sir, tell us a little bit about the small business team. How many people do you have? Where are they located?
Okay, as far as a small business team, currently have 14 small business professionals, 6 of them are Wright-Patterson Air Force Base here. I've got 2 up at Hanscom, one at Gunter, 2 at Eglin, 1 at Lackland, and then we also have part-time small business professionals that are under Agile Combat Support, and they support AFMETCAL at Heath, Ohio. So as far as the small business professionals, where they're located and what they're responsible for, here at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, I got Sarah Chafe. She's responsible for mobility and training, aircraft, and PZI, the IT and specialized. Then Miss Alicia Drains, she's responsible for business enterprise systems for Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, the office here. Then Miss Kendra Ephraim, she's responsible for AFSAC and PZI operational. Then Jennifer Gallagher, or Jen Gallagher, she works EPAS, which is the large services program, and then also does PZI. She does installation and operational. Then Mr. Kevin Parks, he supports Agile Combat Support, Presidential and Executive Airlift, and then also propulsion. And then Miss Kelly Stamper, it used to be Kelly 30acre, now it's Miss Kelly Stamper. She supports fighters and advanced aircraft, bombers, ISR SOF, and then Rapid Sustainment Office. Then from Wright-Pat, we can go up to Hanscom Air Force Base. Up there, Director of Small Business up there is Mr. Jeffrey Emmons, or Jeff Emmons. And then his deputy is Ellen McDonald. They support PEO Digital and C3INN. And then they also have a small business professional that reports to Jeff, Zakia Norris, or Zia Norris, and she's located at Lackland Air Force Base down in the crypto division. So from there, we'll go down to Maxwell Gunter. Denise Baylor, Miss Denise Baylor's down there. She's the small business director at that operating location and supports the business enterprise systems, PEO. A wealth of information, has been around for a while, just a great source of information. Then we'll go further down to Florida, Eglin Air Force Base. Miss Anita Jackson is the small business director there at the operating location with her deputy, Rochelle Jasper. They support PEO weapons. They also provide support not only to AFLCMC, but also the Test Center, AFTC, AFRL, and then Nuke Weapons Center too. Then as far as the part-time small business professionals, that are also contract negotiators or contracting officer, Mr. Michael Hickey, or Mike Hickey, and then Catherine Vaccaro, or Kathy Vaccaro, they're at AFMETCAL, and they're responsible for small business professional duties there on a part-time basis. Then you start wondering, okay, what about the other Air Force Lifecycle Management Center locations, like say Tinker, Hill, and Robbins? Well, for Tinker, we partner up with the Sustainment Center, AFSC. Miss Tracy Nicholson is the small business director for them. So she handles Tinker. Then JD, or James Dean, he's out at Hill Air Force Base. And then we have a new small business director, Tim Inman, who replaces Angela Harris down at Robbins Air Force Base. So really it's a team effort. We work really close with each other, and just, I've just a phenomenal team, and there's just a lot of great resources out there, and small business professionals that can provide you information and help you out.
So it's a pretty broad, wide area. I mean, pretty much the entire CONUS that you guys are looking to cover. Give us a kind of a top level view. What is the mandate? What is your objective kind of overall for the small business office?
Oh, kind of our mission, what it is. It's truly to support the warfighter. We can encourage program offices to seek and consider small businesses when they're doing their acquisition strategies. We work closely with the program teams. Really, what also we do is we counsel contractors, and that's what we call outreach. So, like, for example, your Air Force Lifecycle Management Center Lifecycle Industry Day, we have that. We participate in the Small Business Administration matchmakers. We do a lot of one-on-ones with contractors. They'll call us up, hey, I want to do business with Air Force Lifecycle Management Center, or they're asking about this opportunity. So we'll sit down, they'll pitch their capabilities, provide us their capability statement, and we'll talk to them about opportunities with the center. And then also we work closely with the other small business professionals under Air Force Material Command. There may be other opportunities at the other centers that they may want to get involved with or find out about. So, and then we also do inReach. Our inReach programs are more like our training, like where we train the Program Manager Academy, Jumpstart for contracting. We do the CEO study group. We also, one of the great things that we invented was a small newsletter. It's called Small News, and it's a one-page hot topics of what's going on in small business, and just covers points that people have been asking questions about, or we need to disseminate information. So that's really our strategic communication tool. In essence, we're a liaison between the small business industrial base or the industry, the small business administration, and then also the program teams. So we're really working hard to deliver value to all three of those. And we work closely with the small business administrations, specifically the procurement center representatives, when we're talking acquisition strategies or helping out program teams, because we want to make sure that we kind of grease the skids and that we can work with the SBA to see if there's going to be any issues, or they have any other recommendations to make sure that things go well and that we're able to streamline the acquisition. We in essence, we just don't focus here at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. We're focused throughout the enterprise at the center. Like I said before, we work closely with AFMC Small Business, but then also, Air Force Research Labs, AFIMSC, the Installation Mission Support Center, AFTC, the Test Center, the Sustainment Center, and the Nuke Weapons Center. So we'll have small business directors calls that Mr. Jeff Malott sets up with AFMC. So we'll get together, talk about what we're working on, how we can help each other out, because really we are small teams, but we have a lot of great experience and great business advisors, and really we're pushing that mission-focused small business leadership.
Mm-hmm. So I know, you hear stories all the time about innovative startup companies, small businesses, people that have an idea, they've got a better solution, kind of like the proverbial build a better mousetrap kind of thing. And I know attention has ramped up a lot in recent years as far as the outreach to it. So I just want to see, how has your engagement efforts evolved over time, and what do you see as far as the trends in the data regarding that engagement?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the trends in the data, fiscal year 19, that was a phenomenal year for us. 3.2 billion in small business spend. And then, at that time I was like, well, that's interesting. Will that be the top of it? And here comes in fiscal year 20, where we just had $3.6 billion in small business spend, which is just phenomenal. And then from a small business goal for our senior leader performance expectation, the goal that we had, we came in at actual small business spend from a percentage standpoint of over 10%, which is the highest the center's seen. So it's just, it's just been great. Program teams focusing on small business, focusing on those innovative technologies, and really that push that Dr. Roper was pushing for those small businesses, those innovative technologies, finding these solutions that will propel, the Air Force and the DoD. So really, we've seen an increase in our outreach and our inReach. Outreach, we counseled fiscal year 20, it was around 500 companies, and those are one-on-one counsels with the companies. And then we also, did other outreach events. I know with the COVID pandemic coming in with fiscal year 20, we really had to lean forward and utilize our partnerships to do virtual events, make sure we got out there partnering with the Wright Brothers Institute to do colliders, where we discuss what the Small Business Office does, how we can help out, partnered with the Dayton Development Coalition, partnered with other industry groups to get the message out there to make sure that the small businesses understood, hey, we're still here, business as usual.
Mhm.
We'll do teleconferences, we'll do Zoom meetings, we'll do team meetings. So, and really I was at the first pitch day, in New York, which was just a great event. And then we had other various pitch days that really accelerated things. So, and then, also, it's really the push of accelerating change or lose. So everyone's looking for those small businesses that are flexible, that bring those innovative solutions and technologies to help us out. But yeah, really, since COVID hit, fortunately, the Right Pad office and the other locations, they're kind of familiar with teleworking, so we were able to hit the ground running and still do all the outreach and reach out to those small businesses and train the teams. So it's been a great experience, and we continue to learn and get lessons learned and figure out how we can reach out to businesses. I think the main point I try to give them when I meet with them is Teams or a Zoom, so we can see face to face, because in essence they're really clamoring for that in person. But pretty much what we're doing right now, we can see each other, we can talk, which is great. The only thing we can't do is handshake. So we can get virtual waves or virtual handshakes, but yeah, it's very fortunate for the focus on small business now, and really the push.
I was going to ask about that, as the kind of drive towards virtual events helped or hurt. Earlier this year, the Rapid Sustainment Office had the Advanced Manufacturing Olympics, hugely successful event that was virtual, but probably was attended by many, many more people than it would have been if it had been an actual physical event, and we had a public affairs conference last week that happened on the day of the worst weather that we've had in the Dayton area this winter anyway, and probably would have caused the cancellation of the event if it was a physical meeting. But as it was virtually, we still went on and had a good meeting. So I was wondering, has that helped you or hurt you? It would seem like maybe that would help a little bit in some of your outreach efforts to small businesses.
Yeah, I think it's helped from the standpoint of, we focused on investing in technology, making sure that we had the necessary virtual platforms. I think it's helped in the sense too, like you said, it's not dependent upon weather unless your connection goes down. What we've seen too is people will sign up for events, and what are they? They're recorded now. So then they're able to access it when they have time. Kind of if they've heard kind of the spiel before, they can kind of go through the program and figure out what they want to listen to, or have it play in the background while they're doing other things. So yeah, I mean, we've really seen kind of an explosion from that standpoint, to where they're pushing the virtual events. And what's been kind of nice about it too, you look at some of the fees that were associated with some of those in-person events, which when you're a small business, you're trying to decide, okay,
Right.
what do I spend money on? And the nice thing about this is, from a virtual standpoint, and there's a lot of resources out there, I think it's given them more information and more access to it. So which has been good overall.
Yeah.
We continuously have small businesses and industry reach out to us. There's also, other than small businesses or your large businesses, that are also looking for those small business partners that they can partner with, that they can mentor, that they can help out, that they can meet their subcontracting goals, and really provide an innovative solution. So I know we've done panels in the past with large businesses at Life Cycle Industry Day, and they're really looking for those small businesses that can help them out, that are great performers and have that technology or that solution that will help them out and make them a winning team.
So can you point to a couple of successes that you've had just kind of recently?
Yeah, I mean, as far as successes, I know from our standpoint, with the inReach or the programs team, program teams. It's really been disseminating that information, that strategic communication, that small news. We've really had to lean forward with COVID. We helped the Department of Health and Human Services. There's great examples of successes with testing, getting swabs, subsystems for the virtual private networks that have been very beneficial. There's a cyber support center, $900 million contract, and there's been some small business programs under there. They stood up Platform One, and they've had some small business set-asides with that. I talked about the Eglin Construction Day, the pitch day that we had, where we were able to bring in small businesses that have not done business with Eglin Air Force Base, and bring them in to promote their capabilities, their solutions. The large, I believe it's over $13 billion, the Small Business Enterprise Application Solutions, or SB contract. They've had great luck counseling contractors and talking to them about subcontracting opportunities and making sure they have the right points of contact so they can win subcontracts and get business through that. Another thing that we're working on currently is Denise Baylor's updating the SMART Guide, which is a guide that provides small business opportunities and lays out programs that are coming up for competition that are out there that they can look into. And probably locally, looking through our scorecard that we recently had, I know there's a lot of high visibility for the female body armor, and that was awarded under the Try Decide Buy program, which was a great program, which is a small business set aside with various small businesses that are providing innovative solutions to the warfighter.
Yeah, that program's been hugely popular with the airmen out in the field.
Correct. And then we also support NASIC too, and I think you'll see some small business wins there too.
So what are some events that you've got on the horizon coming up?
As far as like some events that we have that are coming up, we're looking to do a collider for the FIRE, for the Financial Improvement Audit Readiness. We're doing a collider with Wright Brothers Institute and looking to provide information to industry, to small businesses about how that impacts them, what resources are out there. We have a subject matter expert, Miss Lori Wade, that's going to help out with that. Looking forward to that. There's going to be a small business panel up at Hanscom Air Force Base. It's going to be virtual at the end of April. Senior leaders from PO Digital, C3INN, and then NC3 are going to be there and be on the panel. So looking forward to that. Eglin, they're having a weapons pitch day towards the end of April. So I think that will be a great event. Right now here at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, we're looking to prepare for Air Force Life Cycle Management Center Life Cycle Industry Days. Unfortunately, we had to cancel last year's event, which everyone looks forward to that because it's great speakers. We have a small business forum, and this year looking to do it virtual, but preparing for that, figuring out panels and things like that. So really looking forward to that on the horizon. That will be in the August timeframe, like that first week in August. And then the small business director for Business Enterprise Systems, Mr. Denise Baylor, in March, she's going to speak at the Montgomery Tech Lab. She's going to present there and provide small business industrial base, the Department of Defense contractors, how to do business with Business Enterprise Systems. So we have various events that are out on our calendar. We're always looking to do outreach events and partner with people, be special speakers, and get the word out there that we're here to help out the small business industrial base.
Did you mention when the collider event for the FIRE is?
The collider event, I think we're looking probably in the April timeframe. We're thinking maybe March, but we need to reach out to the event organizer on there and kind of nail down a date. But from there, we'll make sure that we push out emails and everyone knows when it is and then what we're going to cover. So looking forward to that. We're going to partner up with AFMC.
Sounds good. So we're just about to the end of our time, but before we close, I just want to see, is there anything that we've left out or anything that you'd like to add?
No, I just want to, thank my team for their hard work. Very thankful for the great team and all the hard work, the hours that they put in, promoting small businesses, working with their program teams, making sure they streamline acquisition and help them out when they get in, when they have issues. Thank, senior leadership for focusing on small business and really pushing out on these innovative small business solutions and making sure that we're at the forefront for that, accelerating that change. And then really, thank the PEOs, non-PEOs, the program teams for all the hard work they do and promoting small business. Without their help, we couldn't have had a record year for $3.6 billion in small business spend for Air Force Lifecycle Management Center. And just, thankful for all the hard work all the small business professionals do. And like I said before, when I mentioned some of the other small business professionals that we work with that support Air Force Lifecycle Management Center. So thank you.
All right. Hey, and thank you for joining us today, sir, on Leadership Log.
Great. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.